Sweet Reads. I'm back with another edition of the Faraway Tree. Last week we read the Enchanted Forest. Let's have a look again. So we have read so far. Okay, so we have read Rick comes to stay, off to the Enchanted Wood. Today we're going to be reading The Land of Topsy Turvy, which should be interesting. This is the first magical land that we are going to visit while reading the Magic Faraway Tree. It's going to be the third chapter, and let's see how it goes. Let's try and find the right page, shall we? Oh, I think I missed it. Okay. Right. The Land of Topsy Turvy. What is Topsy Turvy like? Asked Joe, taking another pop cake. Never been there, said Moonface, but I should think it's quite safe, really. It's only just come here, so we should be safe. So we should stay for a while. We can go up and see what it's like and come down again if you don't like it. Silky, Saucepan, and I will come with you if you like. Moonface turned to Saucepan Man, who was enjoying his fifth popcake. Saucepan, we're going up the ladder, he said. Are you coming? Humming, said Saucepan, looking all around as if he thought there might be a bee about. No, I don't hear any humming. I said, are you coming? Said Moonface. Oh, coming, said Saucepan. Of course I'm coming. Are we going to take our lunch? Yes, said Moonface. We are going to the curved door that opens into a tiny broom cupboard and see if what we got, tomatoes, plums, ginger snaps, lemonade, will bring them all. He put them into a basket, then they all went out of the funny curved room onto a big branch outside. All went the curved room on the big branch outside. Moonface shut the door. Joe led the way to the very top of the faraway tree, when suddenly Rick gave a shout of astonishment. Look, he said, there's an enormous white cloud above and all around us. Isn't it mysterious? Sure enough, a huge white cloud floated around them, but just near by the hole right through the clouds. That's where we go, up the hole, said Joe. See that branch? That goes up to the hole. Come on. They all went up the last, they all went up the last and, They all went up the last and topmost branch of the faraway tree. It went up and up through the purple hole in the cloud. At the very end of the branch, there was a little ladder. Joe climbed the ladder, and suddenly his head popped out into the topsy-turvy land. Then one by one they all followed, and soon all 7 of them stood in this curious land. Rick was not used to a strange land on the other side. He stood and stared, with his eyes so wide that it really seemed as if they were going to drop out of his head. And indeed, it was a strange land he saw. Every house was upside down and stood on the chimneys. The trees were upside down, their heads buried in the ground and their roots up in the air. And the people walked upside down too. They are walking on their hands with their legs in the air, said Joe. Goodness, what a peculiar thing to do. Everyone stared at the folk of the folk of Topsy Turvy Land. They got along very quickly on their hands and often stopped to talk to one another, chattering busily. Some of them had been shopping and carried their baskets on one foot. Let's go and peep inside the house and see what it's like. All topsy-turvy, said Joe. So they set off to the nearest house. It looked very peculiar standing on its chimney. No smoke came out of them. The smoke came out of the window near the top. How do we get in? Said Beth. They watched a topsy-turvy man walk on his hands to another house. He jumped in at the nearest window, going up a ladder first. The children looked at the ladder that entered one house they were near. They soon found it. They went up to a window and peeped inside. Gosh, said Joe. Everything's upside down in it. The tables and chairs and everything. How uncomfortable it must be. An old lady was inside the house. She was sitting upside down in an upside-down chair and looked very uncomfortable. She was very angry when she saw the children peeping in. She clapped her hands, and a tall man walking on his hands came running in from the next room. Oh, send these rude children away, shouted the old lady. The tall man hurried to the window on his hand, and the children quickly slid down the ladder, because the man looked rather furious. This is a silly land, I think, said John. Would we just have our lunch and then leave this place? Wonder why everything is topsy-turvy. Oh, a spell was put on everything and everyone, said Moonface. And in an instant everything was topsy-turvy. Look, wouldn't that be a good place to sit and eat our lunch? It was under a big oak tree. Those roots stood high in the air. Joe and Moonface set out to lunch. It looked very good. There's plenty for everyone, and said Joe. Have a sandwich. Silky, Saucepan, have a plum. Crumb? Said Saucepan in surprise. Is that all that you can spare for me? A crumb? Plum, 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 said Moonface, pushing a ripe one into Saucepan's man's hand. Oh, plum, he said. Well, why didn't you say so? Everyone giggled. They all tucked into a good lunch in the middle of it. Joe happened to look around and he saw something surprising. It was a policeman coming, walking on his hands, of course. Look what's coming, said Joe with a laugh. Everyone looked. Moonface went pale. I don't like the look of him, he said. Suppose he's coming to lock us up or something. We didn't get down. We couldn't get away from the faraway tree before this land swung away from the top. The policeman came right up to the children crowded under the tree. Why ain't you topsy-turvy? He asked in a stern voice. Don't you know that the rule in this land is everything and everyone has to be upside down? Yes, but we don't belong in the silly land, said Joe. And if we were sensible, we make another rule, you'll make another rule saying that everyone must be right way up. You've just no idea how silly you look, policeman, walking on your hands. The policeman went red with anger. He took a sort of wand from his belt and tapped Joe on his head with it. Topsy Turvy, he said, topsy turvy. And to Joe's horror, he had to turn himself upside down at once. The other stared at poor Joe, standing on his hands, his legs in the air. "Oh, fiddlesticks!" he cried. I can't eat anything properly now, because I need my hands to walk with. Policeman, put me right again." "You are right now," said the policeman, and walked solemnly away on his hands. "Put Joe the right way up," said Rick. So everyone tried to turn him over so that he was the right way up again. As soon as they got his legs down, his head up, he turned topsy-turvy again. He couldn't help it because he was under a spell. A group of topsy-turvy people came to watch. They laughed loudly. "Now he belongs to topsy-turvy land," they said. "He'll have to stay here with us." "Never mind, young man. You'll soon get used to it." "Take me back to the faraway tree," begged Joe, afraid that he really and truly might be made to stay in the peculiar land. "Hurry." Everyone jumped to their feet. They helped Joe along to where the hole ran down through the clouds. He wasn't used to walking on his hands and kept falling over. They tried their best to make him stand right way, but he couldn't. The spell wouldn't let him. It will be difficult to get him down through the hole, said Rick. "Look, there it is. I'd rather go down first. I'd better go down first, my brother. I'd better go down first and see if I can help him." The others pushed him through as carefully as they can. "You'll have to go upside down, I'm afraid." It was very difficult to get Joe through the hole because his hands and head had to go first. Moonface led his feet to guide him. Rick held his shoulders as he came through the ladder so that he wouldn't fall. At last, all 7 of them were through the hole in the cloud, and they were on the branch outside Moonface's house. Joe led on the branch with his hands. His legs were in the air. "Moonface, Silky, can't you possibly take this spell away?" He groaned. "It's dreadful. Silky, what land is coming to the top of the faraway tree?" "Next," asked Moonface. "Have you heard?" "I think it's the land of spells," said Silky. It should come tomorrow. "But I'm not really sure." "Oh well, if it's the land of spell, we could easily get a spell from there to put Joe right," said Moonface, gleaming. "Joe, you must stay the night with me and wait for the land of spells tomorrow. The other can go home and tell what happened." "Joe, all right," said Joe. "I can't possibly climb down the tree again if I'm upside down. So I just have to wait here." And Mother would never believe it, though, when the others tell her why I don't come home. Still, it can't be helped. They all went to Moonface's house. Joe stood on a chair upside down. The others sat around and talked. Rick was sorry for Joe, but he couldn't help feeling a bit excited. Goodness, if this was the sort of adventure that Joe, Beth, and Fanny had, what fun things were going to be. The others began telling him all the adventures they had. The others began telling him all the adventures they had. Silky made some hot chocolate and went down to the tree to fetch some more cupcakes. It was 5:30. Beth said they must go. Goodbye, Joe, they said. Don't be too unhappy. Pretend you are a bat. They sleep upside down, and don't mind a bit. Come on, Rick. We're going down the slippery slip. Rick was excited. He took the red cushion that Moonface gave him and sat himself at the top of the slide. Beth gave him a push. And off he went, round and round inside of the enormous faraway tree, sitting safely on his cushion. What a way to get down a tree. The end. That was a nice little adventure they had at the faraway tree, Topsy Turvy land. Our poor little Joe had to stay behind. Thank you for coming and watching my video. Some illustrations from the book. Next we'll be reading The Land of Spells, and we'll see if Rick and the others, how Rick and the others get on there. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I will be back shortly with another video. Bye.